Arts Etobicoke is a not-for-profit charity that creatively engages citizens in arts-based community development in the West End of Toronto. And while we are in the arts and culture sector, we are first and foremost a community-based organization. We use the arts as a tool to support community building. Over the last 20 months, we have been responding to the needs of our community and trying to address gaps in programming that were exposed by the COVID-19 pandemic. And in that time, we haven't missed a single week of programming. We have experienced a decrease in capacity, having to decrease staff hours due to operational funding shifts, and yet we have increased our output. We embody the trend of expanding arts and culture outside the downtown core, and in fact, we have been doing this for almost 50 years, quietly, on the ground, in our grassroots way, removing barriers to participation and increasing accessibility in the arts in our community. Etobicoke has very few recreational and community centers, which translates into lack of safe, public gathering spaces, and in turn means more reliance on local service organizations like Arts Etobicoke. We bring art and culture to the places our community already feels safe in and create many alternative cultural hubs like parks, apartment tower courtyards, malls, and others. Our cultural placemaking creates a safe space for people to connect with each other and explore issues that are important to them using arts as a tool. We foster civic engagement through public art projects, belonging and inclusion through our Park Party and Arts in the Communities initiatives, and local leadership through our Community Cultural Leader model.
Over the next few years, and as a recovery process to the pandemic, we want to see increased access to arts, culture, sports, and recreation in our community. The role the LASSOs, local arts service organizations, such as Arts Etobicoke, play in our city are the key to this change. We provide local community-informed programs that speak to the needs of our unique community. We develop and sustain inclusive cultural hubs in shared public spaces, embodying best practices of cultural placemaking in our program plans. Etobicoke is an immigration hub in Toronto, creating an incredibly diverse and unique community. Looking at our newcomer, immigrant, and racialized communities within Etobicoke, we want to create more arts and cultural opportunities which remove participation barriers while also raising up the voices of these equity-deserving populations. We are committed to the work through programs such as Arts in the Communities, which brings hyperlocal arts programming twice weekly into shared common spaces in high-density apartment towers in equity-deserving and racialized communities in Etobicoke. We are launching our augmented reality project, Sites of Significance, which commissioned 3 Indigenous and 3 newcomer artists to identify and animate spaces in Etobicoke that are culturally significant to them. We are also launching a series of workshops for youth in North Etobicoke to learn art skills that can be used for entrepreneurship opportunities.
Arts Etobicoke is in year 3 of a federally funded deep data project, where we are examining the needs of our community. We've hired a team of 7 community story coordinators and are interviewing Etobicoke residents to find out what they are already doing for arts and culture, what they would like to do more of, and the barriers they face to accessing those interests, and how Arts Etobicoke can help. We are inspired by our community. We've learned so much about their interests and them as individuals, and it informs our programming and reinforces our focus on accessible local programs. Our community is asking for a diversity in artistic offerings. Youth are interested in transferable skills, and above all, people want local programming in their community. Our leadership at Arts Etobicoke is representative of community both in cultural diversity and in lived experience. This helps us develop and enact our strategic and programming plans to accurately reflect the needs and expressed interests of our community members.
Arts Etobicoke programs from a community-informed perspective, centering our local residents at the heart of all programming and strategic decisions. We always say our method is to ask, ask, ask. We use the data collected from interviews, surveys, evaluations, community consultations, and so much more to inform and transform our programs.
Hello, my name is Craig Doyle Henry. I am the performing artist known as CDH Live, also a recording artist and producer. I am a full-time creative and I facilitate workshops. I've had a wonderful experience so far with Arts Etobicoke. I'm based right here in Etobicoke, born in Etobicoke, and I've performed on virtual concerts and I facilitated workshops on music production and spoken word poetry. And the experience is wonderful to be able to have an organization that connects people in the same region, other creatives of different types, photographers, visual artists, and I appreciate the fact that Arts Etobicoke also is an organization that keeps us connected and keeps us working and inspiring others. So far the experience has been great, and I look forward to being a part of what Arts Etobicoke has for the future and helping to develop and grow more of the talent that's right here in this city.
We are champions of artist-led models of evaluation and transformation. We operate within an anti-oppression framework and have equity and accessibility as guideposts for our work. Our staff and instructors are reflective of the community we serve and possess shared lived experiences with our community members. We strongly believe in partnerships and strength they build to our programs. We partner within the arts and culture field, but also cross-sectorally with health and social service agencies, as well as corporate developers. These partnerships bring our organization stronger infrastructure and support sustainable long-term programming in Etobicoke.
Equity is at the forefront of our decision-making and planning processes, and it's integrated throughout our programs. All of our programs are free and developed with community input and support. Our community story coordinators continually survey our community to ensure an accurate representation in our programs. We also involve a community cultural leader model, where we hire a connected and respected community member whenever we're working with a new community. This community leader helps us with outreach, community trust, sharing cultural concerns with us, and acting as an ambassador for Arts Etobicoke in the community and for the community with us. As a team, we meet daily to review the day and the week ahead, which helps us to stay up to date on community observation and allows us to address challenges and opportunities as they arise. It also helps us to review the data from our story coordinators, as well as to review our evaluation processes, which happen at all stages of a program, not just at the end. We are continually learning, knowing that building inclusive spaces is a constantly evolving process. We invest in this process through workshops and professional development on topics such as Indigenous terminology and land acknowledgement, anti-Black racism, diversity and equity frameworks, and gender expression foundations.
We recently underwent a strategic planning process that focused our organization goals for the next 3 years. One of our new goals is sustaining our programs in Northwest Toronto through the development of permanent, flexible programming space. This further speaks to the inequities and need for expansion outside the downtown core. We need cultural spaces, events, amenities, and programs that everyone in Toronto can enjoy and easily access. Arts Etobicoke is expanding our program models in Rexdale, bringing our long-standing after-school art class model to this neighborhood. This program provides safe space for creative exploration in an equity-deserving community. It helps foster social networks, develop new skills for youth, and explore new art forms and cultural practices. We have also created beautiful public art with the community that welcomes people to this neighborhood and shows that creativity is thriving here. Our next project includes art activities in a local underused park and more beautiful public art that represents the residents, their interests, passions, and experiences. We are thrilled to be taking the first step in realizing our strategic goal for increased and sustained programming in Rexdale.